Alrighty, welcome to the channel. My name is Mason Dupree, and for the past 9 years, since about 2016, I've been trying to build my own business. Since when I started out, I was doing Instagram shout-outs to push free plus shipping offers with a drop shipping store, all the way to building my own lead gen real estate sales SaaS agency, I guess, and now most recently building my own app to kind of work as a SaaS software and things like that. And most of my experience has been in the marketing realm, and I think the reason that I figured it was important to start a channel like this was because I wanted to share all of the lessons that I've learned. Because while I've tried so many different businesses, I think that puts me in a unique position to be able to share a lot of different lessons that can help, one, you avoid those mistakes, but two, myself avoid those mistakes. Because, before I was even posting these on YouTube, I would record them myself and I would just sort of rant about whatever it is I was learning. If it felt like a very monumental step, a big lesson, I would definitely record it so that I could look back on it. Because, I guess sort of there's that quote that's like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over again and expecting a different result. And there was a large period of time where it took me a long time to understand that, and I would do the same thing over and over again. And that really shined in the dropshipping world, where I would run ads and I would do a slight change to ads, but I really wasn't, changing enough. And I didn't take notes from my lessons. And so really the point of this channel was to do that for myself. But if I'm gonna record it, I might as well share it, because this might be able to help someone else. And that is the whole basis of this channel, is just to kind of share what I've learned. I noticed I'm starting to kind of get a few views, and so I wanted to make sure that that was clear, because I've gotten some feedback that it's not always clear what I'm talking about, and I think it's really important to make sure you guys are on the same page. So at the beginning of the channel, I'll kind of do a little, or video, I'll do a little brief catch up as to what's going on, but really, as I'm sharing lessons, I want to be able to deliver them to the channel so that you guys can hear them and take them into account and maybe implement them in your own strategies and your own businesses. And like I said, I've done so many, and I've learned so many lessons over a long period of time. And I wouldn't define myself as successful, at least in the business realm, yet. And that is okay. Like, it has taken me a very long period of time, almost an embarrassingly long period of time. But I'm only 24 years old. Like, I've got plenty of time to figure it out. And I'm trying a lot more than most people are. And so I think it's important to remember. That's just for myself. But, I think what's important to know is that when you start to build a business, it is incredibly hard. Like, the statistics are not in your favor. And so you're going to make a lot of mistakes. And what's really more important is to get in there and get the reps done and figure out where you make mistakes so that you can try to avoid them the next time around. If you've noticed, in all of my businesses that I just laid out, in drop shipping, I started with, Instagram posting, right? The mistake there was that it was very hard to manage people and get them to post regularly and to get them to post the right link and all that stuff. So I moved to Facebook, right? And so there's an evolution of my strategy. Then I get to Facebook ads, and I'm terrible at Facebook ads. It's the first time I've ever done it. I actually had like a quick little pop of success, but that quickly went away, and I lost all the money I made doing the Instagram stuff. Like, you will not be good at anything you do for the first time. And that's okay. Like, just if there's the one piece of advice that you get out of this channel and this sort of trailer, is that you're going to make mistakes. The point of this channel is to share my mistakes so that you can make less of them, and hopefully at some point we can all get to the point where we've built a business that we're happy with, that we would call successful, and that delivers whatever it is you're looking to get out of it. And so I just wanted to get on here and sort of explain that. Now, just to give a little update. It always feels funny, like, talking about myself and what I've got going on, but I think it's important to do that so that I can share those lessons. Working on a SaaS product, running into a lot of roadblocks that sometimes I feel like I'm 10 steps ahead, and then I go 2 steps back, and it's so aggravating because you get stuck for so long on those 2 steps back. But building a web app, I'm almost entirely vibe coding it. So if you guys don't know what that is, go look that up. It's very interesting. We're at a real interesting point where you could pretty much code anything you want without having to know how to code. So go look into that, because I think there's a lot of opportunity for people who are early adopters of AI, not late adopters, waiting for it to be right, wait for it, get ahead and try to, work out the kinks while it's still not great, because that's when the competition is going to be settled, right? Anyway, building a web app there, it's designed to help businesses, improve their marketing by personalizing it. That's all I'm going to say for now. I really want to share all of that, but I want to share all of that once it's done, post a link, and you guys can go mess around with it and things like that. But there's that, and then there is this YouTube channel, and just posting these videos. And I think that there's also more lessons to learn about that too, because if you're ever interested in creating content or like a personal brand or whatever, I've got an interesting philosophy for that. I've obviously tried to make YouTube channels several times in the past, and I've always failed, and that's mostly because I've taken the wrong steps or made it too hard to maintain that habit of making videos. And again, back to business, usually when it comes to business, I would pick a route that was unsustainable, or if it came to content, I would pick a route that's unsustainable. And those are two very different approaches that I'm taking now moving forward. And I think that those will play out well, but I'll have to let you know, and you can see it live. Also, another really big point that I want to say, and we're getting towards the end of the time here, is that I want to answer any questions you guys have about marketing or business. Because I've likely made a mistake or have been in the situation you have been in before, and I have at least some way of not doing it, some way that would help you, don't do that. Like, this is what I did, don't do that kind of thing. But in best case, I can give you some advice to help guide you through that. I've already had a couple people comment, and that's been really fulfilling and a lot of fun because I make it for you guys. This content is for you. So if you have any questions about marketing, business, whatever, chances are I've likely encountered it before, and I'd be happy to kind of share what I know about those topics. But yeah, I mean, this channel is for you guys. It's made for you, and I want to keep that emphasis. And I've always tried to give away everything that I know. Like, there are some videos in here that I have lower views than some of the others that have more valuable information in it than the ones with the higher views. Like, I'm actually kind of shocked at how unpopular the most valuable videos I've made are, because I know how much those ideas are worth, because I've seen it, one-to-one. I've generated, $40,000 with a cold email system, and that was just a start. We've generated so much more now, and there is so many interesting things that I have encountered through both my experience working at an agency and my own agency and all these other business models that I have seen so much and can kind of help you at least cut through some of the time wasted. I think if you ever have evaluated buying a course or anything like that, the point of a course is to cut down on all of the BS you have to kind of sift through, right? And so for me, it's like I can kind of do that for you. If we had a one-on-one conversation, if you ask a comment or a question, I can I can give you specific information on your scenario and what might be able to help you. And that's something I get ecstatic when I get a comment that's asking a question about marketing or business or whatever it is. Sometimes I get a little bit of imposter syndrome, but I remind myself, if I just give you guys what I know, if I stay within my realm of experience, that's the only way I can really truly stand out and be unique, and then at the same time provide value for you guys. And so that's my whole goal. But yeah, I just wanted to make a video to sort of clarify kind of the point of the channel and what we're working on. Again, if you guys have any questions, please reach out. And I will see you guys around. All right, bye.